with our Travel Talk Tuesday. This is the 5th week that we've been doing this. It's becoming normal now, a little bit. I'm not so nervous anymore. At the beginning, it was tough, but it's getting to be more normal. Anyways, thank you for joining me. My name is Leah, and I am with Go Travel Edson. Tonight, we are excited to have Freddie from Playa Resorts join us. He is joining us from Vancouver, and we are going to take a little trip to some all-inclusives in the Caribbean and Mexico. We're excited to do that. He's going to show us what they offer for families, what they can offer for couples, and just if you want to go somewhere, get away for a girls' weekend or a girls' week. Yeah, they've got everything. So let's hand it over to you, Freddie. Oh, just before I do, I almost forgot. I have a quick little poll, again, just for fun, just to get people participating, and just a couple of questions that are going to pop up on your screen, and it says, which is your favorite place to take an all-inclusive vacation? Some of you have maybe not been to all of these places, but so far, what would you say is your favorite? Mexico, the Dominican, Jamaica, or do you have another? So you can take a vote there. And then the second question is, how many of you plan to go somewhere warm this year, like an all-inclusive, before COVID-19 hit us smack dab in March and stopped us in our tracks? So
ruined all our fun.
Exactly, it did. Okay, we've got some voting going on. I'm going to end the poll and share the results with you. So what we have is most people say Mexico, and there's a few others. And then, wow, most did have plans to go somewhere this year. Hopefully we still can in the fall or towards Christmas time. I'm keeping my fingers crossed, but it's starting to look a little better. But
it is. Finally,
yeah,
finally.
Yeah. I think I see a little glimmer at the end of the tunnel, just a little one.
Just a little bit. We still have to be full, but there's a little bit of sunshine coming through.
Yeah. Okay. So thank you for sharing your comments there. If you have questions that come to mind when we are going through this, just feel free to drop your questions in the chat box below. Sometimes if it's not showing on your screen, you can see a little button that has 3 dots that says more. You can click on that and type in your you'll find a chat box there. Otherwise, we're going to stop partway through, ask if anyone has any questions, answer them then, and then again at the end of our travel talk. So fire away, Freddie.
All right. Well, hi, everybody. My name is Freddie Marsh, and I'm based in Vancouver, and I work for a great company called Playa Hotels and Resorts. Thank you very much, Leah, for inviting me to attend and give you a little bit of an update on Playa Hotels and Resorts. So it can be a little bit confusing because Playa is our corporate name. So none of our resorts are called Playa Resorts. That's just our corporate identity. Underneath our corporate Playa umbrella, we have several brands of all-inclusive resorts, and those are all listed there on the screen. So we own and manage all the Hyatt Ziva and Hyatt Zilara all-inclusive resorts, which is part of Hyatt Hotels, which I'm sure most of you have heard of. We also do the Hilton all-inclusive resorts, as well as a great brand called Panama Resorts. We have a couple resorts in Jamaica called the Jewel Resorts and the Sanctuary. So the beauty of it is we really have something for everybody because every brand is different. So depending on what you're looking for, and Leah, you kind of mentioned it earlier, you know, maybe you're traveling with kids, it's a family vacation, maybe it's a girlfriend's trip. We have different resorts depending on kind of what you're looking for. So where we're located, Mexico, Dominican Republic, and Jamaica. So I'm assuming that most of your clients are probably in Western Canada. Leah, is that right?
Yeah, we have a few joining us from Quebec, but yeah, most of them are Western.
Oh, okay, great. So I'm in Vancouver as well, Western Canada. My 2 most popular resorts are the Hyatt Ziva Los Cabos on the west coast of Mexico, and also the Hyatt Ziva Puerto Vallarta. And the reason is just because from Western Canada, that's our closest flight. It's not a very, we got lots of there. So those are my most popular from my market. Then we have Cancun and the Riviera Maya, which is always a popular destination. People love that. And then we have Dominican Republic and Jamaica. So I'm going to go through them all. I was trying to debate, because I have so many resorts and so many different brands, and I only have about 30 to 40 minutes, I was like, okay, how am I going to do this? So what I've decided to do is I'm going to start by talking about our two newest resorts that just opened in the Dominican Republic, and that's the Hyatt Ziva Cap Cana and the Hyatt Zilara Cap Cana. And then I'll go through each of the resorts and just show you a picture and kind of tell you about a couple of the key things that you might want to know about those resorts. So you've probably heard of Hyatt hotels before. Hyatt Ziva and Hyatt Zilara are part of Hyatt, and they're Hyatt's all-inclusive brand of resorts. The difference between them is the Hyatt Zilara resorts are adults only. So that would be a great if you want to travel. We get a lot of teachers actually that like to go to the Zilaras because there's no kids. So when they're on vacation, sometimes they want to go somewhere where they're not going to see any kids. I can kind of relate to that actually. And then the Hyatt Zivas are all ages. So great for families. It doesn't have to be families only, but it's great for all ages. So I'm going to talk about our two newest resorts that just opened in the Dominican Republic in an area called Cap Cana, which is a beautiful area about 15 minutes away from the main airport. So when you go to Dominican Republic, you fly into Punta Cana, and Cap Cana is a beautiful, they actually call it the Beverly Hills of the Dominican Republic. It's a beautiful gated community, and we're on a gorgeous stretch of beach, probably one of the nicest beaches I've ever seen. The photo that you're seeing here is a true photo. So that is really what the beach looks like there. It's pretty incredible. So basically we, in Dominican Republic, we have two resorts side by side. We have the Hyatt Zilara Cap Cana, which is this U-shaped resort that we're looking at. And then over to the right side of the picture, that's our other resort called the Hyatt Ziva. So the Zilara, again, is the adults only, Ziva is all ages. The beauty of this resort is if you're staying at the Zilara, you have full access to both the Ziva and the Zilara. And also the adult guests of the Ziva can go over to the Zilara whenever they want. Never any kids, though, allowed over at the Zilara. One of the great things about this resort, it has a water park, which maybe I'm just a big kid at heart, but I love a water park with water slides. And then we also have the lazy river. So you hop in an inner tube and the current takes you all around. It's really fun. This is all part of the resort. So I should mention we're all inclusive. So all of your meals are included, your drinks, all the entertainment is included, as well as things like the gym. If you want to take any sports classes, like I'll show you some examples of that. We have some yoga, things like that. That's all included, as well as the water park. That's all included as well. You're not paying anything extra for that. And the water park would be a shared facility for guests of the Ziva and the Zilara. Want to show you what the rooms look like. So this is a typical room at the Hyatt Zilara. So this is the adult side. The rooms are over 600 square feet. So that's actually larger than a lot of condos in Vancouver, actually. So really generous size. Of course, the rooms are all air conditioned. We also include room service. So room service is included 24 hours a day at no additional charge. And we also have a stocked mini fridge with beer, pop, water, and juice. So you can use that mini bar whenever you want. It's all included. And housekeeping fills it up every day. The bedding, because it's a Hyatt, it is a 5-star resort. So the bedding is incredible. It's all the high thread count linens, the really good pillows. We have that in all of the rooms. And actually this room that we're looking at, if you look outside the balcony, you can tell that this is a swim up suite. So you've got your patio. The swim up suites obviously are all located on the main floor. You've got your patio, and you've got patio furniture, and then you can swim right off your patio into that pool. And those actually are the most popular categories. So if you're interested in the swim up, it's usually a good idea to book those in advance. And then this would be a room on the Ziva side. So the great thing is we guarantee if you want one bed, like one king bed, or if you want a room with 2 queen size beds, we can guarantee that for you. So you would work with Leah for that. And believe it or not, that we're one of the few resorts that will guarantee it. So if you're, if you were wanting a king size bed, you didn't want 2 beds, at a lot of other resorts, you can request it, but you don't know until you arrive. But with us, we guarantee that. So you'd work with Leah if you want the 2 beds or the king, and we can look after that for you. So that's kind of a nice feature that we offer. We do, up at the top, you're going to see it sort of has the facts about the resort. So you can see that it's got 13 restaurants, which is incredible. Actually, I'll get into the restaurants right now. The beauty of it is there's no limitations. So a lot of times when you go to an all-inclusive resort, they'll have a la carte restaurants like we do, but they'll limit you. They'll say, oh, you can only go once or twice per week, or they require that you make reservations. We don't do that. So you can just go to whichever restaurant whenever you want. Our restaurants are amazing. The food is incredible. This is, I think, my favorite. It's called Journeys, which is an Indian restaurant. And that's an actual antique passenger rail car that we barged down from somewhere in the US. I'm not sure where it came from, but it's part of the restaurant. So you can actually dine inside. And we have our chef at this restaurant is from India. So it's not, so it's an authentic Indian food, really, really good. This one is great. This one I like because it's down by the beach. So it's sort of an open air dining, very healthy. We really focus on health and wellness. So if you're wanting to be really good when you're on vacation and try to eat healthy, this would be a great choice. Also, this restaurant at this resort specializes in, what's that diet called? It's the big fad right now.
Is it keto?
Keto, yes, thank you. I couldn't think of it. Keto and paleo. So if you're, or if you have any allergies, we're really on top of that. We find that seems to be more prevalent right now, but the food quality is incredible. I love that there's no reservations, and just look at you're just right down there by the beach. Like, you really can't get a better view than that. And then this is my other favorite. I couldn't decide which one I liked better. This is the Italian. I'm a sucker for Italian food, and this is our Italian restaurant, and it is fantastic. And it's you can tell by looking at the pictures, it's the attention to detail. So it's a brand new resort. I should have mentioned that. It just opened November of 2019. So it has that new resort smell. It is beautiful. And it was a new build. So it wasn't something before that we took over. It's new from the ground up. And then it's on that beautiful beach. We do have an incredible gym. The gym is 19,000 square feet. They kind of did it like, do you remember the movie Rocky? It's kind of like that. Like they did it like a warehouse kind of feel. So there's different areas where we have yoga, we have a Pilates studio, we have CrossFit. So really something for everybody. And this is what I wanted to show you. This is so fun. I don't know, Leah, have you tried water yoga?
Nope. I'm going to try this in November.
It is a blast. So we have the floating yoga mats, and they're actually tethered to the bottom of the pool so that you're not kind of, floating all over the pool. You're trying to do yoga. You're staying in one spot, and it's a really good workout because you're doing all the yoga poses, but you're also having to balance. So it's a really good core workout. And then, if you get tired, you can just roll over and you're in the pool and cool off. So I love it. It's a really fun, and that's all included. So you're not, if you're wanting to do the pool yoga, you would just go down in the morning and do that. You don't have to pay for that, which I really like. That you're not having to, we don't nickel and dime. That's kind of the beauty of an all-inclusive, I find, is you really are knowing, like, you pay for everything in advance. And, you know, other than if you're wanting to buy souvenirs, or maybe if you're wanting to go and have a spa treatment or something like that, there's going to be an extra charge. But pretty much everything is already included, and you're paying everything in advance in Canadian dollars, which is very, very nice. So that was our Dominican Republic, Ziva, Zilara. Leah, I thought that I would just go through each resort, just kind of show a couple pictures of each resort and a couple highlights. What do you think?
Sounds wonderful.
Okay, so let's move over to Jamaica. And in Jamaica, we also have a Hyatt Ziva and a Hyatt Zilara side by side. So in that blue circle, that's our Hyatt Zilara. So that's our adults only. And then right next door is the Hyatt Ziva, which is our all ages. Beautiful resort. This actually used to be the Ritz-Carlton Hotel. We took it over about 5 years ago, and I think we've done $200 million renovations to the resort, and it is gorgeous. So again, it's on a really nice beach. The two things that I always hear about this property, or about these two resorts, are the service. The service is incredible. We have something called Service from the Heart, and it's sort of a philosophy that we have at all of our resorts. Whenever you encounter any of our staff members, whether it be somebody at the front desk, it's your waiter, it's housekeeping, we always put our right hand over our heart. And it means that we're doing everything with love. And there is a whole training that goes behind this. So anybody that is hired on with Playa Resorts goes through this extensive training. So that's something I can guarantee, is that you're going to have amazing service when you're at the resort. It is contagious, just to warn you. After a couple of days, you will walk around going like this to everybody, because it's kind of a really sweet thing. Then we'll move over. We're going to be kind of moving back and forth between countries, by the way, because I'm going to talk about the Hyatts first, and I'll talk about each brand. So we will be kind of hopping all over. But we're over in Cancun now, over in Mexico, and this is the Hyatt Zilara Cancun. Beautiful resort. It looks like it's a huge hotel, but it's actually kind of deceiving. It's only 310 rooms, which isn't that large. All the rooms face out to the ocean. So that's the beauty of this resort, is you can't have a bad view in this property. Every single room, you are looking out onto the ocean. And again, over 600 square feet is the smallest room size at this resort. Every room has a 2-person jacuzzi, which is in the room over by the window, so you can enjoy that amazing view. And of course, everything else that I talked about, no reservations for restaurants, 24-hour room service, all of that is included as well. Also in Cancun, we have a Hyatt Ziva, which is our all ages. So anybody of any age can go to this one. This one has an incredible location. We have the iconic location in Cancun. So Cancun is kind of shaped like a 7, and at the point of the 7 is called Punta Cancun, and that's where we're located. So we're actually surrounded on 3 sides by water, and we have 2 incredible beaches. So the beach that you're seeing here in the photo, the water is waist deep. You can walk out quite a ways, and it's only up to your waist. There's no rocks. It's a sandy bottom, crystal clear water. It's like a bathtub. And I just love it because there's no undertow. It's very calm water. So even if you're not a strong swimmer, it's really safe to go into. Or if you're traveling with kids, it's great because there's no undertow. It's just like going out into the bathtub, really. And the color of the water, it almost doesn't look real. This photo hasn't been doctored. Like, that really is the color of the water there, which is pretty amazing. And then on the other side of the resort, actually I'll show you in this photo here, that is our other beach. So this is the same resort, but over looking on the other side. Look at the size of that beach. It's actually called Sahara Beach because it's so big. And then we do have something unique at the Hyatt Ziva Cancun, which is the Turquoise Tower, which is in the turquoise circle, that building there. That's our adults only tower at the Hyatt Ziva. So it's a great, great option. I stayed here in last November, and when you stay at the Turquoise Tower, every room comes with your own butler. I've never had a butler before, and I loved it. I wasn't sure if I would like it because I'm not a real fancy kind of guy, but I loved it because they they're not kind of hanging around all the time. I was like, oh, do I want a butler? Like, no, what they do is they give you, they communicate by WhatsApp, so by iPhone, and or if you don't want to do that, you can just call down. But I like the WhatsApp option. And every day, my butler would check in and say, "Hello, Mr. Marsh. What do you need? Is there anything I can do for you?" And at first, I'm like, "Oh no, I'm fine. I don't need anything." I didn't want to bother them. And then I was like, "You know what? I am going to start using my butler." So on my balcony, I had a beautiful big 2-person jacuzzi, and I asked my butler and my butler's name was Diana, by the way, and I said, "Can you make me a bubble bath?" So she said, "Right away, Mr. Marsh," and she came up and she made this beautiful bubble bath for me. And then she started doing it every day. I said, "Okay, every day at 4 o'clock, I would have this beautiful bubble bath out on the balcony." It was great. So the butlers can do a lot of different things. They can unpack for you. So if you arrive and you don't want to deal with unpacking, they'll do that. They'll also pack for you as well. So I kind of miss Diana. I kind of want Diana to be in Vancouver with me too, because I miss all that. It's just not the same. And then this is the Hyatt Ziva Los Cabos. So this is, I was mentioning earlier, Cabo and Puerto Vallarta are my 2 big sellers. This Hyatt Ziva Los Cabos is a gorgeous resort. It's all ages. But what I love about this resort is over on the the building on the left, you can't see it, but behind that area, there's an adults only pool. So, don't think, if you're traveling without kids and you think, oh, I don't want to be here because it's a family resort. No, it just means that the kids can, everybody's welcome. So more than likely there will be some kids there, depending on what time of the year. If it's a, Christmas break or spring break, there'll be more kids. But if it's, in the middle of, January or something, there'll probably be very little kids at the resort anyways. But I love that you have that option of adults only pool. The pools are heated, which for Cabo is very important. You really want to make sure you've got a heated swimming pool, because Cabo is sort of a desert climate, and it can cool off quite a bit at night, which I like because it's nice and warm and, pool weather during the day, but then at night it cools off, and we've got these great fire pits. They're floating fire pits where we have this lagoon, and there's fire pits that are in the middle of the lagoon. We've got a few of them, and it's just a great place to sit around the fire, and we actually do s'mores and things like that, so it's really fun. But because it's that desert climate and it cools off at night, if you're staying at a resort that doesn't have heated pools in Los Cabos and you're there in the winter months, the water is too cold to go in the pool. So that's a great thing that we have, is the pools are heated. The beach is phenomenal. It's one of those beaches where you can just go walking for miles in either direction, or go, some people go running on the beach. The one thing though, I always like pointing out, as well as the good, I always like to point out the negatives as well, so that there's no surprises. Cabo is not really, the beaches are beautiful, but if you like swimming in the ocean, Cabo can be quite strong undertow. So we don't recommend swimming in the ocean in front of this resort, but that's why we really make up for it with the swimming pools. And you can see that one pool that's closest to the beach. That's an infinity pool, and it comes right up to the beach. So even though you're not swimming in the ocean, you're in the pool and the beach is right there. So it's a really great option. If you're an ocean swimmer, some people that's really important. Maybe check one of our other resorts, but I'm more of a pool guy. I like going walking on the beach and that sort of thing, but I'm not. I'm more of a pool swimmer, so this works out perfect for me. And then this is my last Hyatt. This is our Hyatt Ziva Puerto Vallarta. Love this resort. It's basically 2 towers. All the rooms at this resort face out to the ocean as well. So every single room has unbelievable view of the ocean, and Puerto Vallarta has those amazing sunsets. So you have this front row seat to these amazing sunsets every night that never get old. And I love the location of this resort. So we are just south of downtown. So if you've been downtown, or if you've been to Puerto Vallarta before, you know there's the downtown area with the romantic zone, and that's got the cobblestone streets and the great little shops. And then there's the Malecon, which is the oceanfront boardwalk. We are just 5 minutes from that. So it's basically a $6 cab ride to get downtown. So people love the location because we're close to downtown, but we're away from everything. And we're in this little piece of paradise where we're at the end of this cove. And even though in Mexico, technically all the beaches are public in Mexico, because we're at the end of this cove, we're the only hotel on that cove. And so it's like we have our own private beach. We're the only hotel there. And it's a beautiful beach. And this one is a swimmable beach. So I know you're not really supposed to have favorites. You know, they say when you have children, you shouldn't really have a favorite child. This is my favorite resort. Just keep it between us. This is my favorite. I love Puerto Vallarta as a destination, though. It's just so authentic. I love that it's an easy flight for us. And, you know, just this private setting on the beach. And we also do some fun things. There's every morning at 9 or 9:30, can't remember, 9 or 9:30, we lead something called a jungle tour. There's no charge for this. It's free to our guests. And our entertainment or our sports team leads a hike that goes up behind the resort, up into the jungle, follows a river to this amazing waterfall. So it's just kind of that great location that we have. And again, it's just sort of one of the extra things that's included. Leah, that was all the Hyatts. I was going to switch to Hilton now. Do you think we should check if there's any questions about the Hyatts before we move?
Yeah, let's do that.
Okay.
So I'll unmute you, or I guess, I just know some people aren't sure how to unmute themselves. So if you have any questions, you are unmuted. So if you have any questions, pipe up. I'm sure Freddie would be happy to answer them for you. So go ahead.
Leah.
Yes.
I had a comment about about the beach in Montego.
Yeah.
The beach doesn't seem to be large by the hotel.
Yeah, it's a little bit deceiving. So here we're looking at the photo now.
Yeah, that's the one.
Yeah. So do you see where it has the rocks that go out into the ocean and sort of it kind of goes around. So that creates a very calm area, and that's moreover closer to the family side. And we did that so that there would be no waves. So it'd be really good for families with kids or people that aren't really good swimmers. It's fresh water, but there's no undertow. And then what's hard to see is over on the right side is the big beach. So that's where over on the Zilara. I know they should have taken the photo from the other side that shows the beach better. I can send you some photos of the beach though, Leah, if you want. But it is a good beach there.
So if you're staying at the Ziva, you have to walk all the way across that little pool to go to the beach?
Yeah, but it's not very big because this is the beauty of our resorts is they're quite small. So it's just like it's part of your resort. So it's not a very long walk at all.
Okay, yeah. Thank you.
Yeah.
Any others before we go on?
Okay.
The other thing I was just going to point out is I love how with the Ziva and the Zilara, you can have grandparents stay at one, or maybe relatives that don't have any kids. If you want to go as a group or as a family, you can do that. They can have their quiet side, but yet they have access to the family side, so you can still eat together and go to the beach together and enjoy your time while you're on vacation still as a family, but still get away from the kids when you've had enough.
You nailed it. You're exactly right. Yeah, that's the beauty of it.
Yeah. Okay. So I will just let you continue now with Hilton. Go ahead.
Okay, so we also own and manage the Hilton all-inclusive resorts, and there's not as many of those right now. We just actually a year ago about a year and a half ago went into business with Hilton. So I'll go through the Hilton resorts. The first one is the Hilton Rose Hall in Jamaica. This is a great resort, only 15 minutes from the airport. This is an all ages property, so it's good for anybody. There's no restrictions for age. This resort actually has one of the longest hotel beaches in Jamaica. So this one has a really nice long beach. Also, did I include a photo of it? Oh, I didn't. So behind the resort, you can see there's a whole bunch of trees over behind the resort there. That is a water park that has a lazy river and some water slides. And I love it because it's really lush, so you feel like you're in the jungle, and you get on an inner tube, and then the current takes you around. And the best part is the current takes you past the swim-up bar. So you can paddle over to the swim-up bar, get a refill of your drink, and then carry on the lazy river. It's great. So I really like that. Also, I like that it's shaded in that area, which is really nice. But then the beach is beautiful here. So I really love that resort. Then over in Mexico, in Playa del Carmen, so you fly into Cancun, and then about 45 minutes away is the little town of, well, not so little anymore. It used to be little town of Playa del Carmen. It seems to have grown a lot, is where we have the Hilton Playa del Carmen. And the thing that people love about this resort is the location, because we are beachfront, so we're on a beautiful beach, but we are less than a block from Fifth Avenue. And if you haven't been to Playa del Carmen before, you might not know about Fifth Avenue. Fifth Avenue is a long street in Playa del Carmen that's blocked off to vehicle traffic. So there's no cars. It's just a pedestrian walking street with all these great shops. There's little restaurants, some really fun little places to grab a drink. There's nightclubs. If you want to get your tacky souvenir, you can get it there. It's awesome. So people love it though, because you're at the resort, but you can walk off anytime and go to Fifth Avenue. I like it in the evening. So we'll have dinner. It's like, oh, I kind of feel like I need to walk it off a little bit. We can just walk off the resort, and Fifth Avenue is right there. And it's very safe area, and people love this. And this is a 5-star adults only resort, so nobody under the age of 18. And again, nice size. It's only 524 rooms. That's another great thing about actually any of our resorts. We don't do the mega resorts. So some of our competitors or some of the other all-inclusive resorts, they can be like 2,000 rooms. So they can be quite large. So I love the size. And then back to Dominican Republic again, we have 2 resorts side by side, 2 Hiltons, the Hilton Adults Only and Hilton Family. This used to be a resort called the Dreams La Romana, and we took it over, it was probably about a year ago, just over a year ago, and we completely renovated it. So the entire resort has been completely renovated. Looks gorgeous. We also added in a water park. That's really popular. I know I keep talking about these water parks, but that's a popular thing. People love those, including the big kids like me. I love a water park. And we have beautiful swim-up bars. The beach here is really incredible. And we're only 45 minutes from Punta Cana Airport again, so not a long transfer time. All right, so those were the Hiltons. I think I was going to move on to our Panama Jack now, Leah. Is that good?
Perfect. Yep.
Are we doing okay for time? I don't want to go over. I'm kind of trying to.
No, we're doing perfect. Yeah, and you're doing great.
We don't have too many more resorts, so and then we have time for questions at the end.
Sounds good. Panama Jack is my favorite.
Oh, well,
it's just fun.
It is. Panama Jack is a really fun brand. Very good price point. So when you're working with Leah, the pricing comes in very attractive at these resorts. I would say it's a good solid 4-star resort. So it's gonna, it's gonna have everything you want, but it's not gonna have that 5-star price tag. So there's 2 of them. There's a Panama Jack Cancun and a Panama Jack Playa del Carmen. So I'll start with the one in Cancun. Well, actually, I should mention these are all ages property, so they're great for families. They're great for adults traveling together. It doesn't have to be just families with kids. The one in Cancun has a small water park, not as big as the other ones I've been talking about. This resort has 2 full-size water slides, and then it has like a kind of like a splash pad with a pirate ship for the little kids. But we've got a great kids club, great teen club. The beach in front of this resort is incredible. So if you're looking for a resort with an amazing beach, and what Leah said, it's just a fun vibe. We do some really fun things, like for example, at all of our resorts we have coffee shops. So like basically like a really nice Starbucks or a Blends or something like that, where you go in and you can get your cappuccinos and your little like treats and that sort of thing. It's all included, by the way. You don't have to pay extra. And at Panama Jack Cancun, they have this bell, and when you hear the bell ringing, that means cinnamon buns have come out of the oven at the coffee shop. So it's funny, you hear the bell, and then you see everybody kind of stop and then head over to the coffee shop to get these amazing, amazing cinnamon buns. So it's just a great, great property. And then we have the Panama Jack in Playa del Carmen. And do you remember when I was telling you about the Hilton that has the great location? Panama Jack is right beside the Hilton. So Panama Jack Playa del Carmen has that amazing location as well. So you can see it's beachfront, but then Fifth Avenue, which is that fun, really great street, is less than a block away. So great look, and only 287 rooms. So people will also like the size. So it's big enough that you've got, all the services, you've got quite a few restaurants to choose from, but it's not overwhelming. It almost feels like home. That's something I hear a lot from people, is it just sort of has this real nice home kind of feel. I love it, and it probably has to do with that service that I was telling you about as well. I'm going to tell you about our jewel resorts. We used to have 4 jewel resorts, but as of last week, we now have 2. We sold 2 of our resorts. A lot of people were thinking it had something to do with the coronavirus, that we had to sell some of our resorts, but no, this was actually in the works since last fall, that we wanted to sell. We had 2 resorts that needed some work, and somebody wanted to buy them, and I believe it was $60 million we got for those, which was great, because especially at this time with travel kind of on the downside, I'm sure that was great for the company to get, don't quote me on that. It was either 40 or 60. I'm second guessing myself. But anyways, millions and millions of dollars. So it's great. So we do have 2 jewels. We have the Jewel Paradise Cove, which is our adults only, Jewel Paradise Cove, which is our adults only. And then we have the Jewel Grand, which is all ages. So this is only about 15 minutes away from the airport. This is a beautiful 5-star resort. You can see the beach here is incredible. It's a cove beach. So when I say cove beach, it's sort of like semicircle. So it's not as wavy. So it's quite a nice calm beach. And the thing I love about this resort is it's almost like having your own apartment. So even though it's an all-inclusive resort, we have suites that are 1-bedroom, 2-bedroom, and even 3-bedroom suites. So it works really well if you're traveling. Like for example, I could see if you were traveling with another couple, a 2-bedroom would be great, because then you have a living room and a gourmet kitchen. Even though it's all inclusive, you don't have to cook because all your meals are included, but it is nice to have that kitchen space, open concept dining room and living room, and then each bedroom has its own bathroom. So or even, if there was 3 couples, that 3-bedroom would be great. Or of course for families, it's great, or for extended families as well. We get a lot of people that are traveling where it could be mom and dad and the kids, and then maybe grandma and grandpa might come as well. So that would be a great setup for that as well. And then we have the Jewel Paradise Cove, which is our adults only. Really cute resort, only 225 rooms. This is up in the Ocho Rios area, Runaway Bay, which is about an hour from the airport. So you fly into Montego Bay and it's about an hour away. It doesn't take too long. It's a really cute resort, adults only, so no kids. And this one comes in at a very good price point. This is a little bit of an older resort, so it wouldn't be a 5-star resort, but you're going to come in at a very good price point. Clients love it, guests love it because it's just got a really nice, unpretentious vibe. And a lot of adults only resorts are the high end, high price tag, whereas this is a great option maybe if you're working with a lower budget this year, or maybe you don't need all the bells and whistles of a 5-star resort. This would be a great option. I really like this resort. I've stayed here a couple of times in the last couple of years, and I do really like that one. And now we're down to my last all-inclusive resort. This is our most deluxe resort. So if you are really wanting to splurge or really wanting to pamper yourself, maybe it's a milestone birthday, maybe you're having a big anniversary, you really wanted to do something amazing, check out our Sanctuary Cap Cana. So it's in the Dominican Republic, so it's in that Cap Cana area, which they call the Beverly Hills of Dominican Republic. It's beautiful. We're on a beautiful beach, and this resort, to me, almost feels like it's a European village because it's very unique looking. It actually has a castle. You're looking at the castle, which is part of the resort. You can actually stay in the castle. We also have villas that have their own pool, where you can be oceanfront and have your own amazing swimming pool. One of our suites here is called an island suite, where you have a bridge that goes directly from your room to your own private island. How would you like that? having your own island that nobody else can be on. So we have some really unique features of this resort, and it is beautiful. I did want to also mention, we just came out with our Playa Safe Stay program. So, I'm assuming this might come up on the call, just sort of what do you think, Leah? Did you want me to kind of go into some of this, or?
I just have to unmute myself. Yes, of course.
Okay.
Cool.
Okay.
That would be good and interesting to know.
Yeah. So we just came out with this.
Everyone.
We just came out with this last week, and this, I don't have all the information on it quite yet because it's evolving. But we were waiting because we're affiliated with Hyatt and Hilton. We were waiting for Hyatt and Hilton to come out with their safety protocols when the resorts reopen. By the way, I didn't even mention that all of our resorts are currently closed, but we are opening July 1st. So we're really excited about that. And then this is what is that going to look like when we open? Because of course, safety is so important, and guest safety. So there's different protocols that we're putting into place. Some of them, for example, I can tell you, like when you arrive at the resort, the first thing that's going to be done is your luggage is going to be disinfected. Just in case, your baggage, other people were handling your bag. So that's completely disinfected. The rooms, we're having the distancing. So in the restaurants, we are going to have a lot more space. I think that's going to actually be kind of nice. We're also doing things like in the room, things like the remote control. They're going to be sanitized and sealed, so they're not going to be sitting out. So you're going to know that those have been that they've been completely sanitized. Of course, our food and beverage. We always have medical staff at the resort as well. We have on-call doctors that are staying at the resorts. So we're feeling that with all of these protocols, and we're not going to be running at full occupancy either. So that's the other thing is, I kind of think this might be a good time to travel this fall because the resorts are going to be being so careful with everything. And you're also going to be having less people at the resort. We won't be operating at full occupancy because of the distancing in the restaurants, and we can't have lineups or anything like that, even though we don't normally have lineups anyways. I can see, the only time I ever see it is maybe at the coffee shop. There might be 3 people ahead of you waiting for their frappuccino in the morning, but even things like that is going to be different. So it's going to be very careful. We're going to be very careful and very, very, very safe.
Sounds great. Thank you for that. Awesome. So I was going to ask you too, Freddie, with the changes to the Jewel in Jamaica, is there a water park at that one in Montego Bay?
No.
Okay.
Yeah, so we used to have the Jewel Runaway Bay, which had an amazing water park. That was one of the resorts that we sold. So
Okay.
in Jamaica, we have, it would be the Hilton Rose Hall has the amazing water park there.
Yes, right. Okay. Any questions from our peeps? There is the chat box below if you want to put it in there. I can also unmute you, or feel free to unmute yourself too if you have a question. There, I've unmuted you all now. I can hear you.
Is airfare included on any of them?
Any questions? Sorry, did someone ask something?
Yeah, is airfare included on any of them?
Airfare. No, airfare would be separate. Is Freddie still there?
Yeah, can you hear me?
Yeah, we can. Yeah.
Okay, perfect. Yeah, we work with all the tour operators. So we work with WestJet Vacations, Air Canada Vacations, Sunwing, and Air Transat. Then Leah would, you would let Leah know kind of the dates that you're maybe looking at. She is able to look at all of the tour operators to see who has the best flights, who has the best pricing, that sort of thing. But we work with all the operators. So you can either do it as a package, so it includes all of that, or you know, sometimes you might have, some people have points or something they want to use. You can also, Leah can do it separate, just hotel only. So, but most people from Canada, it includes the flights as a package with one of the tour operators.
Yeah, and we can look at what times, even flight times would work better for you. Some people don't mind red-eye flights. Others would prefer to fly in the daytime. So
I can't do red eyes anymore. I can't do red eyes.
No, I can still do it, but I do need a down day when I arrive. So
I think I'm getting too old.
Yeah.
For the red eyes.
Any other questions? Any popped up? Feel free to chime in. Doesn't seem like it. I had posted a picture of the Playa del Carmen beach, and I'm glad you went over that. The Panama Jack is right there, and the Hilton. So that's perfect location.
Oh, Leah, you really can't get a better location. It's really perfect location.
That's great. Perfect. Okay. Well, if there's no other questions. Any others? Everyone's silent tonight. Just taking it all in.
Maybe I did my job and answered all the questions.
You did such a good job. Yeah, they have no questions. So awesome. Yeah, that's great. I just loved, what sticks with me most about the Panama Jack, Cancun is the one that I went to. I love the decor. It is so fun with the suitcases, and I think I like the color. They use turquoise a lot, so that's one of my faves. So it's beautiful. And the coffee bar, I know there's a lot of people out there that would love that as well. It's just a fun thing, and everyone needs their coffee in the morning, so it's great to know that they even have cinnamon buns to go with it.
Just listen to that bell. The bell.
Exactly. Yeah. Very good. Well, thank you so much, everyone, for joining in. I'm going to just give a quick plug for what we have coming on Thursday night. Sending out an email tonight into your inbox, but we have Nick joining us from Just You, and he's going to be telling us all about traveling solo, but they offer something very unique. It's for those that are alone, but love to travel and not be alone. So they have something that works very well for them. You get to travel with a group, still with your own room, for the same price that it would cost you to go with someone else. So yes, tune in Thursday night. We're going to be looking at a number of their itineraries, which mostly center around Europe. So France, Italy, Spain, and yeah, we'll check that out Thursday. So thank you again for joining us, Freddie, and for all your knowledge on Playa Resorts. That's awesome. It was nice to see some beach right now and some sun. Everyone take care. We'll see you Thursday.
Thank you.
Yeah,
Bye.
thank you. Bye-bye.